Hello, one and all! Review The Promised Neverland, Chapter 179, Compensation. And this chapter, it had me a little worried. I mean, the first 6 pages went by and everyone's like, yay, we made it to the even world, it's all good, we're all happy, we're all celebrating, we're here, we did it. And then thankfully they realized, oh, Emma's not here. We were screwed over by the Promise Keeper because of course we were. Oh, just thank God. I mean, on the surface level, if they had just gotten to human world so easily with no price to pay, with no compensation that must be made, that would have just been horrible, horrible story writing, and it would have really made me dislike how this series ended. And on the other hand, I said if they got a happy ending this chapter, I would eat my hat. And I really like this hat, so I don't want to eat it. Alright, so yeah, they're in the human world, and we finally get a really clear, good shot of the city, and it's doesn't look all that modern. It looks like 1800s England style. It doesn't seem like a super futuristic 2046 city to me. I don't know. I mean, there's a whole war thing, so it's possible a lot of things were destroyed and had to be rebuilt, but I'm very curious about that. Anyway, then Phil realizes Emma's not there, and I just saw they had to write in big letters on the page, Emma's not here. Just to really emphasize it. Norman immediately just collapses in despair on the floor. I love that. And everyone's just screaming out, trying to find her, like, Emma, are you behind a bush? Where are you? Oh. And I do just really take a moment to focus on everyone's, little mental breakdown over this. I mean, Ray is really blaming himself for all this because he knew there would be some sort of compensation. He knew there'd be a price to pay, but when Emma told him that it was all going to be okay, there was no price, that they could overcome anything together, he believed her. He truly did believe her words. He knew they were not a lie, so he let his guard down. He allowed them to keep moving forward. He allowed them to go to the human world, even knowing that something bad was probably going to happen because he just believed in Emma that much. Norman, on the other hand, is feeling a little betrayed about all this because he's like, Emma, you literally told me not to take the whole world, not to take the whole burden upon myself, and you did the same thing. You made the promise, and because of that, you got taken away from me. How could you do that after you told me not to do that very thing? And then Phil's like, wait a minute, I was just holding on her hand. What happened? Where did she go? And then a hovercraft shows up, flying through the air and landing right in front of them. I love this hovercraft. This thing is really cool. Very futuristic, very awesome. I love it. And then we meet Mikey, the current head of the Rattray clan. And quite frankly, I don't know if we can trust him. I mean, I have a lot of theory speculations on him. Most importantly, though, is code solid. I assume that was like a passphrase that meant, hey, if someone says code solid, it means trust this person. They're someone who I giving temporary authority to. But based on how he's wording it here, it seems like code solid is the plan for if the children ever make it to the human world. They have a contingency, they have steps in place that they must take if that ever happens. Like essentially for them, be a doomsday scenario, worst case, what do we do if this happens sort of thing. I really can't tell anything from the expressions of him and his co-workers. I mean, the guy in the back looks a little distrustful. The guy on the left looks confused. He's hard to read. I really can't tell what anyone in this picture right here is thinking. It's very unnerving. We also then find out the other children have been teleported around the world. Looks like Egypt, I want to say Shibuya Square in Japan. And it's the 104 building. And looks like the Eiffel Tower right there. Which I'm guessing those would be which I'm guessing is like the Earth equivalent of the farms. Like before the Earth was essentially split in half, Ellis Island and Gracefield were the same thing. One island together. I have a lot of questions about oceans and tectonic plates, but I don't think that's going to get answered. So let's say they were the same place, and that does make good amount of sense. Japan, New York, Paris, Egypt, those probably would have been major hotspots, major cities and destinations at the time the promise was made, I think. I'm not all that great at history. I'm very sorry for that. And the news is reporting it as mysterious children with numbers and markings on their necks and stomachs. So I'm going to assume that humanity is not aware of the fact that they kind of sold out their own kids to the demons. I mean, I've been in that opinion for quite a while now, simply because, they had books and games from the human world. I'm assuming at least one of them would have mentioned, oh yeah, there's a whole parallel dimension where demons are. That's, we sell our children there as food. That's a thing. So because that never came up, I mean, they could have, censored the books, made sure nothing was mentioned in it, but I'm still of the opinion the population as a whole doesn't know about it. I'm curious to see how they react to all this. Are they going to be told the truth? It seems unlikely to me. Anyway, then we get a whole history lesson on the world, and also the Statue of Liberty is a hologram, which, concerning. Very, very concerning. Anyway, from the year 2020 to 2030, there were instances of abnormal weather, natural disasters, epidemics, and food shortages, which, yeah, that's some crazy fantasy you got going on there, Promised Neverland. I mean, it's not like anything like that would ever happen in the real world. So, I mean, don't be silly. Oh, we're all gonna die. Oh, let's hope we live long enough to see the series come to an end. And then World War III started up and lasted for 10 years, at which point so many people died and so much destruction was caused. Everyone's like, all right, you know what? This old system, it's not working. We have to start, working together for things. So no more countries. We're just one big happy family now. We're going to share resources, share technology. We're going to get things done this way. And amazingly enough, that worked. There are still many challenges, but humanity has finally started to move forward. We're in the midst of reconstruction. It's good news. And yet, I don't know if I should believe him. I have some problems with that story. Mainly, Petey. When Emma was talking to Petey right before he died, he told them about all the horrors in the human world. The mass genocides, wars, torture, all that other stuff. But according to his uncle, that's all history. The wars have stopped several years ago. And they're all essentially living in peace. So, was Petey unaware of that? Is the uncle lying about the world peace? Is the uncle really planning on killing the kids? Is the uncle trying to silence them so they can't tell the whole world that they were sold as food because that would make the governments look bad? They were allowing this to happen for all these years? I don't know. A lot of questions about that. I still don't trust the uncle. I mean, he has a rat tree, just saying. I do love what Norman says here. Actually, with national borders abolished, there's no concept of immigrants. That situation makes it much easier for us to be accepted, which, yeah. I mean, I actually said in my last video, they were penniless immigrants in New York. Would America even take them in? Nope, that's no problem because there's no concept of immigrants because the whole world is one big happy family. That's literally the best case scenario they could have hoped for. I mean, I was saying for a very, very long time that the entire Earth had been destroyed in nuclear war in 2020, and that's why there were no new books or anything like that. And when they got to Earth, they would have to, regrow everything from the ashes and make new life somehow, some way. No, this is actually a much better Earth than I expected. Of course, no one's happy about this because Emma's not there, and as much as they're looking, they are just not finding her. And I know this is completely unrelated, but I really, really have to ask, what about the mass-produced kids? Because there were several thousand of those facilities, let's say 1 million kids being raised as food. What exactly happened to them? Because I know the whole, just these few dozen kids showing up with tattoos is causing a whole lot of confusion around the world. How would they feel about thousands and thousands or even millions of child corpses raining from the sky and littering the ground? I mean, like I said in the last video, that sounds like a sign of the freaking apocalypse. Did the Promise Keeper just kill all those kids or throw them in outer space, like send them into the sun or something? I don't know. I'm very curious about that. I do hope we get an answer at some point. And then they start trying to figure out, okay, exactly what went wrong here. Phil's wondering, okay, did Emma die? Is she still in the demon world? Can we go back and see her at some point? But the others disagree, If Emma made the promise exactly as she said, which we saw her make, I want all the children in the farms to go to the human world, including the moms and the sisters. So that should have definitely included Emma, so that definitely shouldn't be the case. So, of course, they don't know that that's the exact promise Emma made, so they're wondering, well, maybe she made a different promise. And the others pitch in, Emma would never do that. Yeah, she wouldn't try to take care of it by sacrificing herself. I strongly, strongly disagree. I could very much see Emma sacrificing herself to save the rest of them. No doubt in my mind whatsoever that she would do that. I mean, that was like the whole point of the first arc, remember? She was risking her own safety by trying to bring everyone with her when they escaped instead of just Emma, Ray, Norman, Don, and Gilda. She was literally putting her own safety at risk to save the rest of them. And then she cut off her own freaking ear to make their escape more possible. Seriously, if anyone here would sacrifice themselves to the rest of them, it would be Emma. Though, honestly, I could see any one of them sacrificing themselves at this point. And they'll just really take a moment to appreciate how much Emma's done for them. I know there is a lot of complaining online that Ray and Norman don't do much, don't say much anymore, but Emma has always been the heart of the series. She's the one that keeps pushing forward. She's the one that's trying to make change, do the right thing time and time again. She's the one that keeps saving people. Norman and Ray, they certainly have their moments, they certainly are important characters, but no doubt in my mind, Emma is the main character. She is the primary protagonist here. And, like I said, she's the heart. She's the one that's given all these people a second chance. That's helped them grow, helped them come here, inspire them to do better. Emma acts depending on what she wants to do, no matter how reckless and impossible it is. Oh, that defines her very, very well. So yeah, he gives the rousing speech this time instead of Emma. I like that. Convinces all of them Emma's still alive, that somehow, some way, they're gonna find her wherever the heck she is. And even if they have to go back to the freaking demon world themselves, they are gonna find her. Of course, one of the sisters has to ask, but what if she's already dead? Because they don't know Emma. They don't know she's not dying that easily. She's freaking invincible and nothing's gonna stop her. And I do just absolutely love the line here. After playing with real demons, it's now time for hide and seek. Bring it on! That was literally how the series started, with them playing hide and seek. First chapter, first episode, they played in the woods. And now they're just playing with her once more. They have to find her. They have to track her down. And when they do, they'll find her and give her a great big hug and live together as a family. Oh god, the flashback to Norman of Emma playing with him with the cups when he was sick is just so freaking adorable. And they declare they're going to find her. They won't let her be alone. And then we finally see her, and she seems to be in Antarctica? In a frozen wasteland somewhere? I'm honestly not sure. We see someone standing above her, and I don't know. I'm not sure if this is just weirdly drawn snow or if this is something surreal. It doesn't look quite right. I mean, they're in big clumps. Almost like she's underwater and those are air bubbles. I'm really not sure what we're seeing here. I'm very curious about that. Next chapter is going to be them actually looking for her around the world. Let's see how much breathing room the Ratchet clan actually gives them, how much they're actually willing to support them and not secretly murder them to hide the fact they've been selling children as food. We'll see about that. Actually, a very popular theory I'm seeing online right now is Emma was sent 20, 30 years into the past. And then when we do eventually find her, she's going to be close to Isabella's age, essentially becoming the actual mother for all the children. Which I can see that happening. The Promise Keeper can definitely, play with time and space. And he's definitely, betraying the intention of the contract by sending her to the human world, but sending her somewhere far away from all of her family. I could also see him betraying the contract by sending her some time before all of her family. And if she is in the past, I think it'd be really cool if, she was the one that essentially created world peace. She's the one that's orchestrated it. Now she's like the head prime minister of the entire Earth. Oh, that'd be a fun twist. That'd be a very fun twist. I'd like to see that. Unlikely, but that'd be interesting. Also, we did not see any sign of Aisha or her dogs this chapter. I just went the whole chapter again. I don't see a single sign of them anywhere. I mean, that was like my big wonder this whole time. Her dogs are literally her family. What's going to happen to them? They aren't really considered children of the farm, so I wouldn't see them, coming with her to the human world. And also, technically, Aisha was never a farm child because she was saved before she went to the farm. So, oh god, that'd be hilarious. They haven't actually noticed that Aisha didn't come back with them either. All this crying for Emma, and they finally realize, wait a minute. Didn't one of these people have dogs? What happened to her? Oh, that'd be an amazing twist, and I love that. I mean, I could certainly see her surviving in the demon world. I could see her wanting to stay in the demon world. It's honestly more where she belongs in the human world, I think. She's more familiar with the demon tongue. She's been raised by demons her whole life. She still kind of hates Norman and wants revenge. Oh, nope. Actually, I just spotted her in the corner on the one page. Yeah, that's her, and she looks kind of sad. So maybe her dogs didn't come back with her? Let me just look at this once more time. I'm definitely not seeing any dogs here. I mean, like I said, they were a freaking family. They should have come back with her or something. I would very much like to get some closure on that before the series comes to an end. Seeing her with her dogs, or seeing Sonja and Musica raising her dogs because they didn't come back with her. I mean, I don't know. I'm just very, very curious about this. Any ideas or speculation on that, let me know down below. Also, any ideas on what the freak's going on with Emma? Where is she at? Who's this guy standing above her? Is she in the past? Is she in the present? Is she in the future? What's happened to all that? Let me know what you think of all that down below. Be sure to like and share the next video. Until then,
peace.